So that's that. 13 rounds for Big on the T side of Nuke. Liquid have been beaten. They've been battered. They're on the ground bleeding out. And we're all just sat back watching.
Yeah. I think they can do some interesting stuff on T side. The thought of a comeback, Big just seem really well prepared right now to punish a team that are revisiting a map they haven't played in a long ass time and are trying to just put so much pressure on the communication. They got away with all that. Now they get CT side to look forward to.
Sure.
Just don't fumble the bag is basically the call at this point.
Don't do it, Big. Don't choke this. Got a good amount of util coming out of Liquid here. Molly included for the hut, so good thing Crimbo already moved. Lets him be a little more comfortable. Those Berettas intimidate Yakinder. He falls back, and as he tries to re-engage, it's the Berettas to shred them. Second pistol, Big. Meet you on Anubis.
Yeah, the two young guys on the A site holding it down, and the Beretta's so powerful anywhere around top hut on most given rounds.
And Favin broke his headphones.
Ah, got too excited. Man, it's not looking good, man. Not looking good. It's a bad start to Washington.
I understand now how all the Danes felt watching Astralis and Heroic at the last European showdown, knowing only one could play in the Royal Arena.
Yeah, but at least one of them had a chance to win.
Yeah. And did.
And did.
So, of course, that means that Liquid could always have the Cinderella comeback story from Showdown to Spring Finals to being champion. They could.
Yeah, it just comes down to who else is going to be there, you know?
Yeah, we'll see.
There's 3 top teams that got upset into the Showdown. Well,
I'll tell you who's going to be there, man. At the finals, that is. Vitality, FaZe, G2.
I mean, that's good for some teams at the Showdown.
North American Showdown, of course, to feature
Sick,
Evil
man.
Geniuses.
I've never been to Washington. Don't know of any like local LAN circuits that have ended up there in CS that I can think of. I mean, there's
yeah, no,
probably have been, but
maybe one of the Fragadelphias when they had their national championships popping up. But that's a big maybe.
yeah,
it's a
otherwise,
shot in the dark. That's
yeah,
like
always great to go somewhere new.
Yeah, it's like if not them, then who would it be? Washington. What are we gonna do there?
I don't know, look at monuments and stuff.
Yeah. Go see Joe.
Yeah.
You got overtime tonight?
With Nafly.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oof.
Hopefully he'll be excited, win or lose, because he's doing good. I got lots of good things to say about Naf so far. We're thinking about raising the Canadian flag. We have Naf on. We have me, Naf, Mahone.
Damn.
Yeah. You want to come?
I'll stand in the background.
Yeah. Just hold a flag.
No, I'm French Canadian. You guys have to exclude me.
Is that a statement of some sort?
Yeah. You know?
Think you'd be better off without us, huh?
Vive la Québec libre.
Still gonna eat all your poutine.
It's okay, you can't make it right. What'd you do, Favin?
That orbital hold was just exploding.
Somebody get the mop and bucket. Gonna have to clean them off the floor. Missed smoke out of Liquid. That's going to allow for Searson to very comfortably post up. Crimbo peeks. Lots of presence being shown here, and it is easy for the first 2. Then the FAMAS comes out. Yakinder and Naf will reel this back somewhat.
Make it a movie.
Searson's attempting to push in. The shotgun, yes, that's right, XM1014 on Keto. And the scout out of Searson is what's going to turn this back onto Naf. He's been the one shining light of Team Liquid on Nuke, and Searson just busted his bulb.
We had, I think it was Nexa with the 35 kill game or something the last time they played on Nuke, so it's like, yeah, they had a game where it came close and someone had a life game, so okay, maybe we can try it again, but this one's going to hurt a little bit more when they think about picking it in the veto next time. This was a good team to pick this versus trying to get confidence on the map, because again, Big's record isn't great, but it's either going to be a massive wake-up call or make them rethink their strategy of even trying to bring it in at this point.
So force buy from now until the end of time.
What was that?
Little pea shooter.
Okay. Thought it was a para. Paradies.
Got him. And honestly, Big have got us. Team Liquid. And North America down bad. But that's okay, it's Nuke. We've got Anubis after this. And if you guys weren't joining us earlier this week, of course, Complexity tried to pick Anubis versus Liquid.
They got tossed up.
And Team Liquid looked good. So there's definitely still some life in this series.
Gob is feeling really good about Big's Anubis.
Oh, yeah?
On record saying they think, yeah, they
in which case, that could be
crafted really well, so that'll be a very interesting match.
Sign me up. I feel like Big always good for like utility plays and whatnot, so you could get some real interesting knowledge out of that. Searson is gonna lose a teammate, tries to keep it clean, but the Tech-9s have managed to burst through. Nicely done from Liquid. The spacing looked good. Keto with the double, and Crimbo from above. So just when you thought that Liquid's talent was gonna bust through Mini, just when you thought Tech-9s could get that bomb down, and there maybe was a little bit of life, some respect to sprinkle into this nuke, all your hopes and dreams have been crushed. All of them, every step of the way. This is a Big that can win this best of three. We'll see what they have to offer on Anubis, but first, a word from Gob.
Gob, that was one hell of a performance and a great T-side to start off with there. Obviously, Liquid are just adding it to their map pool, but you guys dominate from start to finish, and we finally saw the individual step up. Was it as easy as it looked?
Yeah, if we clutch the rounds, we I think have advantage, like in a 3-on-3 or even sometimes in a 3-on-4. It looks good, and yeah, the plan was good. There was a lot of close rounds, we must say. A lot of close rounds, even it was 13-2. So it was a closer game than it looked like I felt, but overall very happy, very good, and yeah, I hope we can show the same on Anubis.
And is that a hugely positive thing, though, that even in these closer rounds, you guys are still closing out? You know, you're not losing the rounds where it could get a bit dicey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we win these rounds against maybe the other opponents, we would have won at least one map against one or the other teams. So, yeah, the close rounds are hurting us normally, but now it looks better, but hopefully better on the segment as well.
Now, Anubis is the first time we're going to see you play it. Give me some feelings of how this is for Big. Is it a map you guys are enjoying?
Yeah, we enjoyed very much. I feel like it's a very good map, nice addition to the map pool, and let's hope that we have the same fun as a nuke.
Let's see if we do. Gob, thank you very much.
But no! Why did he turn around, Jason? Make it make sense!
You're so sick, Modesty. You're so sick.
That's what he always says. I love
Ilya!
Ilya, you're nuts. Brain just swinging with the bat, but what about pistols? The prowess of the pistols.
They're coming down.
They drop down ladder. How does he manage a kill like that? AK from Hooksy recovers, and G2 out of nowhere.
Oh, they've got a little bit on a low buy too.
Pop, pop with the pistols, and we've got another tied game.
It felt like all the X Factor was in phase.
That's so sick.
Wow.
Flames is rotated off. They're putting a lot of faith in the hands of Dexter. Config's gonna challenge early, quietly.
Dropped mid and doesn't commit to B. Instead, he's clearing out A,
They
which
can't
is where
fall
the
back.
bomb is. And if the bomb tries to come back now, it's gonna go right into
Whoa.
it. But no! Why did he turn around, Jason? Make it make sense. Cadians found him, and that was a huge opportunity. That was the chance for OG, and it's just sailed right past them.
Oh, and now Config has infiltrated the CT side. What a heartbreaking maneuver. Whoa, what happened?
Dude, that is brutal. That is like walking into a room And upon getting there going like, what did I need from this room again?
Yeah,
Like
why did I come
that
here?
was like the Counter-Strike equivalent. He gets all this way up and then he's like, what am I even doing right now? And then just turns around.
And now that AK, given over to Nico, fully HP, nearly, sitting into this backside. And it's his brother right in front. Body guarding, body blocking, and JKS goes down for essentially free. 3 CTs meant to work this forward. Utilities off of the mark. Can Hunter sell this? Can Nico clutch it? Will he be needed? Because that Tech-9 drops, and here comes Nico's rifle. It's headshots galore. All 3 dead, and Nico's gonna keep it back and forth.
Tuck him in, son. They're put to bed. What a round from Nico. Was that possible to defuse after that kill?
I don't even know.
I don't even know. The first 2 might have been good enough. Of course, he had to make a show of it.
This has just got to be the read. They've moved into this site. They're closing the gap. No, Util's coming out! And Bit, that is a crazy shot. One more, man. He does do damage. He threw a bit of Util down onto the bomb. The molly.
Well, Big clearly have somewhere better to be, because holy hell, that first map was absolutely lightning fast. 16-2 as they perfectly put Liquid in the blender, and every single metric, every single statistic Matthew, Big were superior in this first round.
Oh, this was a sublime performance on the side of Big. There is no other word that comes to my mind. Fantastic display from the German organization, and an apt reminder that in Counter-Strike, a couple of rounds, a few rounds here and there, they are enough to tell the story. I think Big handled the first few tight rounds to perfection, and then they just rode that rainbow until paradise.
It was a beautiful, beautiful first half coming out of Big. A beautiful game playing coming out of GOB and Tapson as well. I absolutely loved the pace that they were playing with. The pistol round was a fast one. The first couple of buy rounds were fast. They took the time to also make an inside rush, you know, in the beginning of the game when they still had the Mac-10s, played into all these small details of the rounds and still managed to win every single clutch situation there were in that first half. It was a beautiful display coming out of Big and a welcoming display coming out of Big, because we were worried that this team has stagnated. We were worried that this team didn't have that top level anymore, but we got to see it right here.
And I think that there's a couple of conclusions from that playstyle from Big. And the first one is that they accepted to play the skill game against Liquid.
Sure.
Because if you're going to play that fast Counter-Strike, if you want to play trade-oriented, that means that you think you can actually hold it up against them, which they did. Props to them. Good trades, 1 for 1 for 1. Usually once the bomb was planted, they were equal numbers, which is already a win. But after that, we have to admit, Liquid kind of fumbled the bag. The way they slowed down their retakes, they let time be their enemies instead of their friends. And once they've lost a couple of these rounds, it felt like they just lost track of the game. I think their quality, their level dropped down massively after round 7 or 8, maybe.
There's so many rounds, so many retake scenarios. We saw it in the pistol, we saw it in the first couple of buy rounds, and the pace of the retake was my main issue. Liquid never really gave them a chance to fight into the rounds. We saw mutual occasions where Elish would be a little bit slow in the rotation. Yakinda wouldn't really go for the first fight that he normally does. It was a little bit disjointed for Team Liquid as well. To me, that was just a clear sign that this is not a team that is ready to play Nuke against a top-tier opposition. I think Big played fantastic Counter-Strike. They made Liquid look like a bunch of schoolboys, but the reason why that was Liquid weren't ready for it. They don't have the answers for this. They don't have all the tells as how to do a retake, how to deal with Faven all of a sudden coming in from a flank, how to deal with Crimbo taking a chance in a clutch situation and actually coming from behind. There were so many small details in this game being deployed by Big, and Liquid had zero answers to it.
Obviously, we're seeing some Keto highlights run out here as well, which is great to get to see a bounce back from him. But I feel like the comeback of the hour, man, it was Faven, because we were kind of harping on him coming into this. He was the lowest rated player for Big thus far in the tournament. What a comeback from him.
Maybe he heard it. Maybe he heard us talk about Faven, because that was a great display. That was the first time we saw him actually play, you know, the Counter-Strike that we expect him to. He was very influential in these openings. He was very influential in the clutches, and overall just had a very good game. And yes, Faven is not supposed to be the bottom fragger for Big. This time around, he was the top fragger. He was the most impactful player, and hopefully we get to see more of that Faven for the rest of the turn.
I can't believe how many of these highlights are actually early on in the game. This is sick.
Yeah.
Like, we've had 4 highlights, all between round 1 and 7 on the side of Faven. Truly put Big on the right tracks.
One of my biggest issues for Liquid, however, is looking at the first half. Half of the rounds in that first half, they actually managed to get the opening kill, and still 2 solitary rounds to be closing this out. That ain't good enough.
Maniac talked about it, right? Opening kills, sure, but trade coming in for big every single time. You may get the opening kill, but is it really worth an opening kill if you get traded instantly? And that's kind of what happened for Team Liquid. In most of the retake scenarios we talked about, it was a 5v4, 4v4, 3v3. As Matthew said, when the bomb is planted and you have a 3v3, you're in the position to win the round, and it was like that over and over again. So they never got to capitalize on these openings.
That's true, and whenever they found the openings, I think they allowed Big not only to come back, but to grab space. We have a good or a sad example, depending on where you stand. Round 15, of course, we're going to see Elite with that clever little move. That's an opening kill, and it's a freebie. There should be a 5v4. Now, he gets a little curious in that smoke. Taps and puts him down, but Sursen punishes the pick from Upper Heaven. That in itself is a mistake. That's a mistiming, a misconceptualization, sorry. And now once we get to the 3v3, we talked about the trade from Big here. Oh, once again, that's pristine, and we have to commend the patience of Sursen this whole time, who punishes the rotation down. What a ratty play, and I mean it as a compliment. And finally taps and puts down his opponent. This was, again, a sad example. It's a 5v4, but I think Liquid were unconscious of the space and the risks that they were taking. That peek from Heaven, freebie into Sursen waiting, that's too easy.
Now, maybe a shining light for Liquid going forward, as it is their map pick of Anubis coming up next. We've seen them deliver on it time and time again. So, Danny, what should we be looking out for in this one?
We saw Liquid play against Complexity at this event. Not much of a T side that we saw, but we did see this one T pistol round that I want to break down. It's actually a very interesting one. So first, what we're going to see here is the initial setup here from Liquid. So if I pull up the map here, we'll see that Nitro, he's here towards A. He's got utility. 3 players here towards this mid position. And the idea here is that Nitro, he's going to throw some utility towards A, pull the rotations over so that these players towards mid can kind of crunch onto the A site. The real question here, though, is what is Yakinder doing here with this position? That is what we're going to answer here today. So what you'll see here first is that, like I said, Nitro, he sets up that utility, smokes towards that Heaven position, as well as the left side of stairs. And this basically draws the rotation of the CTs towards that A site. You'll see right up here, Paulzark, he's going to move over here towards A, ultimately allowing these players to come up towards mid. Now, when this happens, though, you'll see that as these players kind of come up towards mid, OC, he entries first. He comes in. He ends up dying to Fang here. Eliege, he ends up trading. And when he gets this trade, though, at the same time, Nitro dies to this A player. So now, once he dies here, this whole A split is dead. But now the key here is Yakinder, who actually went up this water position towards this cave position. Because Eliege and the rest of Liquid have actually come up towards this mid position, they've now created a situation where they can actually drop through this window area and go back towards B. By doing this, they actually have a faster rotation towards this B site than the CTs do. And you see that is exactly what happens here. See that after Eliege gets that kill here, he falls back, goes through that window, meets up with Yakinder, and now they're entering into an empty B bomb site because they know that nobody's going to be here. Yakinder clears a couple corners, and now they're in the spot to be able to plant the bomb. And since they're in so deep, they now have some really good post-plant positions. So even though they're in a 3v4 situation, it's so difficult for them to flush them out. Yakinder ends up getting 2 here. And then lastly, you'll see that Nap ends up finding the last one. So a real nice pistol strat here. Has a couple contingencies, and we'll have to see if Big can handle it.
I love that Danny chose to break down a T-sided moment coming out of Liquid, because Big are going to be starting on the CT side of things. So we're going to have to see from the get-go, Jacob, whether Big can learn to handle that.
Hopefully. As I said, I think Big are one of the few teams I actually trust coming in for the first time on a map like Anubis, well prepared. We know Gup, we know Tapston. They love the details, the minor details, the executes, etc., etc. One thing I did notice, Will, was that, of course, Liquid had such an easy time against Complexity that we never really got to see their CT side. So I'm curious when Big is coming over to that T side, if they have something in store, utility, flashes, Molotovs, you name it, Tapston, Gup B, they are meant for details. So I think Liquid could be in trouble here on Anubis.
They could definitely be. Just as much as I think CT side is still the most favorite on Anubis, even though there is a debate, I think for Liquid, it might be a good thing to start on the T side because they need energy. Yeah. They need rhythm. They need pace. They need some sort of momentum. I mean, they were victimized this entire first half on Nuke. They were receiving all of these rushes, feeling like they were always behind the rhythm. Now they get to dictate. They get to say what game we play, how fast we play, and they need a reaction.
Yeah, certainly dire straits for Liquid after starting off on the grounds of Nuke, but potentially a lifeline coming in the form of Anubis. We're going to have to see if Big have done their homework. It's coming up after this.
T-spawn to connector to B, through palace to CT to mid. Okay, I don't even know. We reach to A through T-spawn.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it. I think my team, NIP, is going to be best on this map. So here we are, T-spawn here. Obviously very similar, like, artistic style to Dust 2, actually.
The map has open skyboxes, so I think it was great for executing sites. I think that was like Valve's main initiative here.
So let's see in how many seconds I will be on B site if I want to rush.
There's also windows that are very obvious going into the B site, so they want to make it easier to execute. There's plenty of things to boost on if you get smoked off in main. What's great is that there's not many corners going into the B site. It looks good. It looks like a CS map.
Like on side time in 12 seconds, so it will be really tough for CT sides. This peak here isn't very valuable as CT because the terrorists can come from the left as well, and it's very difficult overall. They will need to block it immediately and to use utility if they don't want to lose the round instantly. But obviously with throwing flashes through these windows, I think they will blind them. Like this is the first area you're gonna probably counter a CT if you're gonna take an early peek as T or CT. It's like these angles.
But I think the only problem is like I don't think you can smoke everything off, and it seems like you can always boost over every area that is smoked. So it's gonna be interesting to see how pros approach the map. Because there's a lot of angles the terrorists can abuse because they can take map control very easily. Very difficult to hold here. Like in general, I think this map is very T-sided. The left side of B, like going towards CT, I think the CTs definitely have advantages in these areas. The creators of this map had the plan in mind already for it to be kind of, CT oriented. Like here's the CT spawn. What I think is like, I think that there's gonna be 2 guys at B, 2 going to mid and 1 going to A. Like that's what I think it's gonna be like. This is kind of middle. I don't think it will be easy to block. It seems like a really easy area of the map. It's kind of just about, a chess game of utility.
We expect everything in this veto. They could have banned Vertigo or Nuke. They decided to ban Vertigo, this one. It could have been any map, I would say. And yeah, we feel really confident on Anubis. It's the first time we played in an official game. We have been practicing a lot, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. We really look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of, crazy smoke lineups and executes, but I think with Anubis, teams don't really know how exactly to play the map until they actually play it in the match. You learn a lot more from matches and actually playing it in an official than scrimming it. So yeah, we have a lot more match experience on it. I don't think they've ever played it before, so we don't know exactly what to expect, but we're still feeling really confident in our own play. And yeah, I think as long as we're not caught off guard by their executes and whatnot, then we should be fine.
It does really feel that way. Obviously, Big is an unknown entity coming into this match. We know that Team Liquid can perform on both sides of Anubis. We know they're comfortable. They've got match experience. They dismantled teams at this point. So this is a challenge coming out of Big to Team Liquid, but it's also them coming off of an absolute smashing on Nuke. Yakinder finishes that first map with 0 successful opening kills. And that just means that in terms of that first map, it wasn't the Team Liquid's formula. It wasn't there, man. There was nothing there. There's nothing we can talk about when it comes to Liquid on Nuke. So let's leave that behind us, fixate in on Anubis, and whether Big can break through what we know is a decent map for Liquid.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because in memory, Yakinder has such big rounds on this map, but in his macro statistics, at least the 4 games that he's played, he's got a right on a 1.0 rating. In a lot of the CT rounds where he's holding on to con control, he's playing off the pillar that I feel like should be straight up named after him because he's so good at it. Like, he does well there. But again, it was brought up, like they smashed through complexity so hard they didn't even have to play T-side, for example. And they don't know anything about Big, who are very good theory crafters on a map that we have no idea how good they're going to be on. And they don't know either, and it's true. Match experience is everything. So I'll find out if that shakes Big's confidence.
It's looking like an A hit to kick it all off. Crimbo behind Waterfall. Sits. Oh, they're not clearing it. Crimbo's able to walk out. tabseN already picked up the first one, and that's the bomb down. tabseN clean on pistols. Taps away two. OC and Naf meant to recover it. Now we've got Naf still all the way deep down on Dark. OC grabs the bomb. Oh, he can get away with this, but he's gonna get chased. And if CSGO's not cautious, he could give away this kill. Sure enough, OC almost catching him as he extends out long.
Yeah, they let him go with bomb spotted out there. So now the other side of the map, well, pressure can be retaken.
And both players, right? Naf also shot bullets, so they should know that Team Liquid, who could have been inside of B as far as Big were aware, have in fact
all the time
gone over. 15 seconds. They're gonna have to run it Keto. And Keto gonna get split here, goes back, kills Naf. Now, all of a sudden, OC, desperation sinks in. He's just gonna go for the money, and Favin's not able to stop him right away. That little bit of a brick gives him cover, and it is in fact a big retake in the CT pistol.
At least we got a plan. That's nice for Liquid. They don't have to freak out too much about small things that happen at the beginning of the game. Again, they come into this map knowing that they have a couple of big wins. They have some decent individuals on this map. And Nuke for them was just a map that some of these players have played, but not for a year. So they have some excuses. They have some excuses to not overreact. But so far, so good for Big. Ended last map in 18 rounds. Start this one off with a pistol.
Of course, there's going to be so many questions. I mean, questions I want answered. What does Big's T side look like? You saw it in the OC interview, right? Unless we get caught off by something in some kind of an execute, right? What are the little trickeries that tabseN and Gob B are going to orchestrate? Whoa. Favin. Riding Keto like a horse. Keto has the stature of a horse, for the record.
Okay.
Massive man. Not that that's important.
Right. Just weird thing to say, but
food for thought.
Interesting comment.
Saddle him up. Flash goes out into long. Players getting closer. Gotta worry about Dark. A nice clean kill from Nitro. Ooh, and a second onto Favin. But bullets go both ways through that smoke. And he almost finishes off Nitro, who's lucky to be alive with that 6 HP. OC's gonna take a bunch of damage. Crimbo's got that deeper line.
They have him locked if they want to keep fighting this.
But here comes a leash. Creeping through Temple. And Team Liquid, with the force, managed to get those kills going in through smoke and take away the B site.
Not too shabby. Kind of hard to do that sometimes, especially with the way that round started. Some early info in for Big. Like they had some decent spots, but the smoke allowing them to scale really good. Put so much pressure on that Glizzy spot to take a hard angle and stop them from coming in. And Liquid have a strong entry pack, so Big with the counter force. CSGO on the scope. We'll get to see all layers of Big here on Anubis. Everything's going to be a world first for us, for the fans, and for Liquid.
Oh, wow. Ready for the wide swing, too. And he crouched. CSGO doesn't give a damn. Kinder's going to come through Dark. But of course, with CSGO added to the tally, CT's ready for this. Nitro tag.
Oh my god, CSGO.
Hits the kill on Naf. Here comes Yakinder in with a double. CSGO's still under pressure, has more teammates running over, but for now, they're quite removed. Smoke's gonna help him. All of a sudden, he can fixate in on Dark. It would be a huge ask of OC to push through a smoke, so Yakinder comes in with 3. He's done everything in terms of stopping this, but tabseN's lurk around. The bomb is being planted right in full vision, and it doesn't even go down. Mac 10 not gonna win that fight. Big, thanks to CSGO, robs it back.
Yeah, amazing from CSGO. First of all, the kill. What a mechanical display through middle. And then the rotation in, the calmness, and as he pointed out, I think that was the most salient part, was that the smoke allowed him to hold on for so long. And even though he dies after that, they had to respect their own smoke, chill for this approach, wait for that molly to come in, and after all that time taps in, he had some dastardly plans up his sleeve, came all the way around to flank him in B main.
It's not going to be that easy, Liquid. Oh, bad nades out of big. Crimbo tries to throw it through the window, would have landed on a Yakinder, but he hit the window frame.
Oh, oh.
But tabseN sees a little
One thing to get info, it's one thing to get info when they don't know it.
CSGO pressed in, but there are good rifles here for Liquid. But with that, they're not going to anticipate. Crimbo, just like in the pistol, comes off the side of the pillar with 2. Elige trying to do this properly with Nitro, but tabseN feasts on them. And Naf nowhere to be found from that pack. So it's almost like CSGO's death gives them that false sense of confidence, and Crimbo picks up the slack.
Yeah, they just see one walking that way, even though it's really early on into the round. It's a situation where they know Liquid are on a low buy. So the counter pressure goes in favor of the CTs. Amplify can't get another kill, so 3 up here for Big as they survive the Force Wars.
Crimbo almost getting away with that 3rd one, but nice from tabseN. And you can see Nitro and Elige just stuttering, trying to swing at the right time together to prevent him from doing exactly what he does, sectioning off 1v1.
He's like playing that spot in the way it feels like the cover was intended, just using it as a pillar that you swing on. But almost no one has approached it that way yet. Almost everyone else is. You got Brokey omping it, falling back, Nitro playing retake most of the time, Rops playing in the site, but or pushing all the way. Crimbo's just playing it standard, and it's working out well.
Ooh, gonna disrespect that smoke, huh? With the flash, they all burst through. But it's an easy evacuation for tabseN, and even easier assistance from CSGO. Between the two of them, this round falls absolutely flat. And Team Liquid have let that 4th slide away.
I think it says a lot, too, that their aim looks very good and comfortable on this map. Just to show you, when they say they practice a lot and it's big, I mean, I feel like that means a lot.
Okay.
And I was talking to Gob just off record, I guess. I mean, it said the same thing that Crimbo said, just that they feel very, very good about their Anubis and that they've gamed it a ton. And that's almost mirrors everyone's sentiments when they come into Anubis, like, well, we figured out something no one else has. We don't know how other people are going to play, but we know we've got good stuff. And I'm sure 60 or more % of that is going to be on the second half for Big. The CT side you can talk about a lot and is really important, of course, but it's not the side that you get as creative on.
Creeping in. Now, without a close kill, without CSGO playing forward, I'm curious if they just go ahead Molotov off the pillar.
I think Crimbo's presence is strong enough that he's left the phantom of himself in their mind. Right. When they try to approach, like, well, they should probably molly it, but they're also low grenades here. They don't even have one anymore, actually.
Oh, yeah, last was just thrown out by Elige. And sure enough, that A site was completely clear. They were on the brink of it. The shadow of Crimbo, enough to convince them to head elsewhere. Of course, middle right now needs to be cleared out by tabseN. We'll see how far he really goes on this expedition. Elige trying to keep him honest. But as Elige looks to go join his teammates on long B, tabseN starting to activate. Really nice offensive timing coming out of tabseN. He could very well find them with backs turned, because you know OC's hands are going to be busy. He's the guy with all the grenades, and he's the only player with nades here. There's 3 players just sat in the open for tabseN to feast. Liquidated. Long B belongs to Big.
Yeah, man, he's been fearsome on that flank every time, getting so much out of it. This time it comes in even earlier. Liquid are without a hope. 2 players left, hoping they can save. tabseN still in their spot. Nitro takes that one out at least, but that's all.
Man.
He's found a huge gap here versus Liquid, and that is the game tape advantage of Big. Playing against Liquid can probably look so closely at all their 4 maps here in preparation for this game. I think you probably want to look closely, especially the FaZe matchup, where FaZe showed Liquid that they aren't going to just simply win every game. Over at the World Final,
Perfect target selection too.
Yeah, and the fact that he waited on the first one, got vision of 3 right after.
Look at Liquid just deflate from that.
That's tough.
Huh. The collective sigh of dying to a man who just followed you out of mid. Oh boy.
It's not, you know, Washington's on the line in some sense, in the sense that this is supposed to be a layup for Liquid. The fact that it might not even go to 3 maps is already crazy. Liquid still have time to get it together here and have a chance in this veto. But it doesn't get any easier from here.
Right. And a deep peek out of Searson. Double incendiary on Yakinder. Oh! But Nitro, that one AK, is able to make the most of that moment. And then Yakinder wastes no time closing that gap. Good coverage coming out of Nitro, of course, but they're not able to move any closer on the dark.
Feels like Protocol 1 these days, get people to use that smoke as soon as possible. Get the re-smokes out.
Flash over long. Naf just keeps his head down. Honestly, all he has to do, don't die. They see nothing. Well, Naf will send a bullet down range. So Favin's going to keep up the pressure, and we're going to get that AK starting to work its way through middle.
As long as they keep testing the information, though, it puts pressure on Liquid. They keep showing that they know it's not going to be B for the next 10, 15 seconds. They feel comfortable elsewhere, then Liquid can't take pressure elsewhere as easily.
And it's bringing Tabson back through Temple. He's going to have to walk that. We'll get into position. Keto goes deep into the close tucked wall. But you got to be careful because you'll be exposed here. Yeah, that's a free kill. Oh, Crimbo gonna have to pick up the slack. Rounds cake to the left side. OC up close, buying time wonderfully. Crimbo, he has shut this A site once, twice, thrice.
There's no luck involved in that. They're scaling from both mid and through A main, and Crimbo right here, he plays off these angles to just completely block off his opponents who are approaching from that side, gives himself 2 good fights versus these Ts who know exactly where he is. And he's just been wonderful on the multi-frags. It's never just been 1 kill. Or at least a kill in damage. If that, I'm pretty sure he's just multied every time.
Now, of course, good chance for Gob to get in because there was a glaring flaw with that setup. When Keto goes and tucks along the pillar inside of the A site, any terrorist who walks up along the wall, not exposed to Tabson,
it's
deep angle.
It's because Tabson was coming in. So that's just a gap in timing, but Keto, it's got the comm or sees the radar that taps in, I'm taking mid. So in that moment, there's the 3-second gap where he's just, okay, my teammate's coming to take mid. I'm cool on this angle for a second. Tabson's about to full clear it, but Liquid get in there at the same time. So it's a mistake, but it's it's Keto trusting actually probably something he saw.
Tabson to be a little wider by the time that happens. All right, Tabson. I'll forgive you, 13-4. At the end of the day, Crimbo saves them inside that site. But we've got a 5v4 for Liquid.
Oh, the late nade to the stairs.
While Big, of course, on fire.
Kinder has taken so much damage on this angle. Oh,
nice boost.
Yeah, a chance and a kill.
A clean second one coming out of Liquid, both of which by way of middle. Searson and Tabson dead. Crimbo onto the op.
And we'll see how big gamble. We'll test the protocols here.
Op is right there. Elige just sucking in the gut. Crawl along the wall.
Oh, this is really nice move from Elige. They pull back out of mid with the site pressure coming in at the same time.
But it is 3A. Somebody's got to keep eyes middle. Nobody's watching it. Favin finds Nitro first. Naf's going to get that response. Now the bomb is locked in here, right? Because it's playing in from long A. Oh, blinded! And Keto able to trade that one right back, then gets Yakinder, then gets OC! Another individual moment for Big.
Damn, dude.
Die! Ugh. NA hemorrhaging today. No health insurance.
After map 2 of the last series, it didn't even look like a series that either team could win. That's how rough it was for NA in that game. And now, we're lucky to have won any maps today. God damn.
With the
we talked about like heroic. We don't know when they're gonna start playing well, but they will. Bigger team, they they don't have the players like heroic do or some of these other top teams that if they have a slow start, they can bounce back. Big will obviously eventually be good, but it was possible they bomb out of groups completely here.
Sure.
After the start that they had.
Yep.
And to come up like this versus Liquid on 2 very interesting maps in this pool for them. Something special.
Yeah, I kind of felt like some of the top contenders were given that excuse of like slow start to the year, but then for some reason Big didn't get that little buffer. It just felt like, oh, Big underwhelming. Let's see it. And the fact that this is their first Anubis. Some teams crumble. Not yet for Big. Crimbo, again, behind Cake. And Nitro slides by with the Tech 9. He will get that bomb plant. Tabson throwing grenades as Favin gives him cover, so it's money in the pocket of Team Liquid, and it's an M4 in the hands of Nitro, but a 1v4 seems like way too much to ask of him. They're already coming in from this long A flank, and so Big, sure enough, just like the last time when they got that plant towards B, it's an opening for Liquid, but it's Big to just take everything right back.
It's a good setup from Crimbo with his initial grenade and then his kill again. And yeah, he gets traded, but it's literally like watching 1,000 Ways to Die right now, where Big are just comfortable in almost every spot. Groundhog Day with the site being taken and then the retake kills coming in instantly here for Big. Perfect cover behind with the Molotov. I mean, everything's moving so fluidly right now for the squad.
Double op. Saw Crimbo pick it up off Searson's dead body when Liquid got that 5v4 in middle, but now it's straight out the gate. They're going to keep one inside of the B site. Early triple setup.
What is that? HE.
Comes out of the window, right? It's the same one that Nitro was throwing at World Finals, I believe. Just seems like Big find the better timing with it. And then Searson deep on the jail. Looking for a second down and dark. Flash will get him off the angle, but he dodges them well enough.
OC ate that flash as he was peeking.
So he lost his advantage, and Searson, going to rip you limb from limb. 3 clean shots.
And 2 more coming his way. Or not.
One of them half health because of that early utility. Big with a stellar defense at the moment.
They can rely on everybody. So much help. Yeah, that was OC getting onto the angle to take the space from Searson, and we saw in mid that previous round. I think Keto 1v3'd on that one. And it was a good start, and it was because Searson re-peeked into an angle he got flashed off of and died to OC. And right here, OC's not on this angle right now because OC accidentally ate the flash that bounced in from his teammate.
Just as he goes for the kill, he just gets bettered by his German counterpart. Of course, good amount of cash here in the pockets of Big, so you can hide and spawn all you want. They're coming for you. This will be a critical couple of kills if Big can take them away, and especially when it comes in potentially after time. Right here, Nitro first, Nap up next. Both taken away.
Jesus.
Ouch. Man, we thought it was going to be problematic on Nuke because it's still Team Liquid trying to get back into it after taking a year off play. But Anubis?
Yeah. This is something decent for Liquid for a second. A third timeout's going to be called here. Burning on T side is not out of the ordinary, so maybe a smart thing to do. And we talked about it. They beat up Complexity on this map, but they beat him up so bad on CT. Not even a test there on T side. hard time believing Complexity would have played as well as Big did and are doing in this map based on what we saw, at least in that game. But yeah, I mean, Gob's job at this point, keep the morale high, tell people good things, tell them they're handsome. That's it. Keep doing what you're doing. Crimbo's B site right now is like worth a demo. You know, he's done so well here. He's playing the map again in a way that's so standard that almost no one's tried it. They've tried to play it in unique fashions, retake, pushed up, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
And the thing is, they've been nading at different times in the round. Last time, minute 26.
Nice nade at a Crimbo. This is a bit more standard as to others. Plays behind pillar with the off. Deeper angle. First one's good. Little re-peek, though. And the AK is prepared for it. So now, all of a sudden, you're handing over an op. It's in the hands of Naf right away. Great grenade damage again. tabseN goes a little wide. Down goes the rifle, but Osi, pause on the op. And pause on the play. CSGO slides up into the heavens. Keto concerned that maybe somebody's still coming downstairs. There's no rush here for Big.
Yeah, it's CSGO's the one in jeopardy if they wanted to try to scale versus him. With a minute, he knows that they're going to try to either leave the site or try to get a kill or wait an extremely long time, put the bomb down, and hope they get a successful plant so they can set up right away.
So that's all right. He just concedes 5 feet, goes back in storage.
Yeah, as long as he gets out, he's good. Liquid have won a post-plant position at least.
Now, nobody's watching flank right now, so with that bomb down, here comes Keto.
He's got to be aware. There's been so much time here.
OC now in the position CSGO was prior to the bomb plant. Left or right? What's the timing? Where's the peak? And with utility coming out of heaven, it's a nice quiet lurk out of Keto. Yakinder has to move forward. Misses his chance at the clean Deeg shot. If he can get that one, he turns back around, but Keto's got the trade. Fast on the flank. Once bomb goes down, it's another one for Big.
Yeah, that's not ready in that spot. And to be fair, the two, really strong post-plant positions are kind of locked off. Maybe it would have been wise to get OC to go back to clear out the flank, hope to get the bomb down safely in the 2v2, and then have OC holding this angle entirely without being exposed to the site. But easy for us to say. I think it's just that we've seen so many full flanks in these post-plants, you think at a certain point. Fool on me.
Guns in from Liquid. Gonna make them a little cautious. Look at this. Remember, we talked about the shadow of Crimbo on the A site. Completely open. Just banking that Liquid won't go there. Nitro's sniffing it out, but even then, we've seen moments where Team Liquid will get vision back onto Fountain, peek around the pillar, and then still just leave. Missed shot out of OC. Could have been a sitter. tabseN's going to cause concern for Liquid with that challenge in middle. And that would be crazy, because if tabseN dies, then mid and A completely clear for a split. And it does feel like it's a bit too much. So here comes Crimbo doubling back. Could flash tabseN's peak. Elige loves to just tuck inside of that drop. And honestly, it's a great way to catch them off guard, but he's forced down. Oh, and the timing could have been awful for Elige as Keto comes out from dark, but luckily he gets the trade. And tabseN thinking about peeking downwards. There's a player just on the other side of this smoke, or there was. OC leaves, and the B split looking like it's coming.
And tabseN taking the risk of staying out here gives him some crazy options here to help out. He had that full flank last time. If his teammates get kills, no one can watch the flank. He could drop bridge potentially.
Surely not again.
Uh-oh.
He's making a ton of sound. OC is going to hear that one coming from a mile away. And then Naf kills CSGO on Glizzy. But Nitro's burning. 14 seconds. And if Naf died, they'd have a real issue, as somebody would have had to double that back. Crimbo, why not? He's done wonderful things from inside that A site, but now it's a retake needed. 2 players to the right. Elige tucked on site, having just come off the plant. A frag grenade for Crimbo. That could make things interesting if he can find Naf.
Powerful in the clutch, but in this spot, man, so far back.
Maybe not taking the chance.
Let him have this. Enough brute force there from Liquid to finally make it, so there's not even a chance to have a retake come through. Already got 1v3 in this game. Lost sites with the bomb down. melted down so quickly in so many of these previous situations. But a courtesy gesture here from Big.
Leaning on Naf. It's been the story all week long. Fortunately for Naf, he's finally having a very quiet game. His 3rd and 4th kills right then and there to clear out the B site.
Yeah, I think tabseN had that confidence because they postured so hard inside of mid with Elige in the window and OC fall far back behind the smoke. And when they left, he thought, okay, they put so much time into this idea that I might be here that they're going to think I haven't pushed. And when he stood out there and there was no one there, he decided to run the flank. If he had walked it, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, he's got it.
Almost, yeah, guaranteed.
And I think based on the timing, there's a fair chance that both those Ts would have already been just outside the site. You know, it was smoked. They could have been on the other side of the platform. But OC's still far enough back that he catches wind of things. And so Liquid double the round count. Crimbo still shaking up the timing. Every 8 player in the world should be learning that frag. You can also do it with a Molotov. And if you go to Sponge's Twitter, you can even learn a smoke.
The timings. See, again, okay, minute 28. They have changed it up so many times.
That is nasty, man. Nitro, lucky to be alive.
Got 2 nades. They coalesce perfectly. Now Nitro's onto the op.
And you know, OC almost foreshadowing it. Unless we get caught by some kind of trick, some gimmick. Well, immense impact out of those sight nades. And a nade that runs 0 risk. Man's in a castle, throwing bombs out the window.
Yeah, your only risk is being too obvious with it, wasting it. They just kept it so fresh. Ooh.
Fire takes half of Elige down as well.
All the damage so far from Big has been by utility.
It looks so good for Big's defense that they can do that before Liquid even spot somebody to shoot. But last time here it was Crimbo from the pillar. Now it's CSGO a little deeper. Gets flashed off the initial hold. Molotov's gonna keep them back. And then Naf gets that mid kill. They extinguish the flames. They decide now's the time to jump, to pounce, to push. And Favin gets blinded as that late rotate from Liquid through boat will find its flash. And OC on the AK starts to press into connector. Favin dead. Little lurk here from Crimbo on the Hog. Listen, we saw what Keto could do with it. Now it's Crimbo's chance to shine. A late lurk out of Naf. Oh, but he gets caught by Keto. He turns around. He gets shot and reacted to. Yakinder wants to get aggressive. They know that second CT's still far enough away. Yakinder has to go for the reload. Keto's gonna just apply pressure. Other CT serves up the distraction, and Yakinder can do nothing in the clutch. It's 11 to Big.
And just celebrations. Jovial German noises here from the Big clan. Crazy, man. The value they're getting out of all these different plays, on top of just their riflers, making great use of the AUG, perfect in the 2v1. Keto on low HP could have easily died. Yakinder knew he was setting himself up to at least win a good post-plant spot, and potentially if he got the first kill, could take an even better one, but he couldn't manage it.
Now CSGO's taking op peaks down into water.
Liquid have got 4 rounds across these 2 maps so far.
Buns run boosts. But the pressure here could make things awkward. Yakinder's coming in from dark. Critical first kill. Favin looking to get up into something wild. Last time we saw him jump this, he just got stuffed. CSGO's gonna be the first to die. As this still comes through, tabseN, nice double. Favin delays it, and this time it works out. They actually push sight, but Nitro, no way! Turns back around just to check, and then punches in the digits. And we finally have low money on Big, so honestly, I think Crimbo, tantalizing save. Make sure you can get the best chance possible in the 15th to deny Liquid that 4th. But 2 out of the 3 rounds from Liquid, B hits.
Yeah, they worked extra hard to get into that site, and they have done it a couple of times now. There were enough members from Big to put up a defense. You know, more than they've had over on the other side of the map.
Yes.
Most of the time they've been stacking heavily to maybe make up for how hard it is to hold. And at least for Liquid, yeah, they have found success in this way over here. Still, 11 rounds. Well above quota here for Big's debut on Anubis.
Versus a team considered as one of Anubis's best. We've got a decent sample size from Liquid. You know, this is what Outsiders wanted to do at World Finals. Come out swinging, first showing on Anubis, and smash Liquid.
Liquid beat him up. It is really impossible to tell who's going to be the best aircraft. Because if you think, you would think Outsiders would be one of those teams, almost certainly. But they definitely couldn't figure it out.
Luckily for them, they've had extra time off. Now, this is an angle that with an M4 sometimes doesn't go too well. With an AUG, nice and easy. Yakinder still trades it. Critical quick headshot out of Latvian and taps in. Boom! Doesn't finish the spray or throw the frag, so things get a little wild. His teammate's trying to come in to help him. It's a lot of bodies pushing out, but great cover out of Elige. Turns them away instantly. And all in from Big to try and close this CT half with a 12. They got a smoke to work around with, but a challenge from Yakinder. Immense amounts of damage here. And there's nothing coming out of this connector push. No sir. Favin, quick little snapback, but 1v4 with one already. And bomb beyond the halfway point. Knows Yakinder would have fallen into the site, so this one could be clean, but Yakinder has decided to find a little impact. 4 on the round to close Liquid's 4th. Can their CT side save them? Boosting kicker up. Oh, there's that scout. Oh!
See with the
no
pre-aim to the top of the half
wall. Open B site.
Wins the round. He just wins the round like that. He won the whole round. That is unreal.
How does he do things like that?
That's crazy. The boy is special.
Outsiders did nothing wrong.
They had 2 good spots and good guns.
Oh, that is disgusting. And Hooksy's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Hands off the keyboard.
You're so sick, Monacy. You're so sick.
That's what he always says. I love
Ilya.
Ilya, you're nuts. You're so good, bro. And honestly...
Yeah, really. He just won. That's the cool part about Counter-Strike. I mean, he just won the round by himself. He did.
Watch this.
Oh, man.
Now, James kind of posted and then...
Wow.
Oh.
It's insane. I can't get over it.
Show me how.
Liquid are teed up nicely. The Flames and Dagster. And this bomb down is scary. Flames is taking real estate, but ends up getting punished. Liquid hold, and they win these fights. Just Dagster left to get past, but he's an iron wall at the back of the site. Moving around, kill number 3. Oh! Dagster! Make some noise for him, that is incredible!
Look how hyped up he is. I don't even think he believes it. Look at the way he isolates these fights. Oh, Liquid, that one hurts, and that's all your money as well. Unreal. Dexter just lets loose.
He wants an angle and a timing, and has at least gotten the first. Molly ahead of him, sees the gun, executes Twist first and foremost, tries to wrap it back around the hut, but the Heaven support, that could be the bigger difference maker. Rob's dead. Hunter continues to thrive until Brokey puts him down, and it's time for the ice-cold JKS to try and come through. This isn't Ramp, this isn't his wheelhouse, but it's still a chance to shine. And Brokey doesn't know where he's at. A peek out with the 8-4, sees him up in Heaven, and he nails it! He nails it!
erstmal gerade gar nicht.
Gambelt einfach und saved. Wir brauchen das Geld.
Lass A stacken.
Ja. Und saved einfach dann. Ey.
Searching
Noch
Style.
mehr. Con.
Ey,
A-Split.
Ich hab Con. Noch einer.
Beide Arme. Also Spot.
Einer
safe.
für Aber.
Letzter
Spot.
Spot.
Aber.
Insane.
Aber.
They wanted to play smart, but their players were too good.
Too good. Keto, too good. Crimbo, too good. Every single time they found themselves inside that A site, somebody from Biggs giving Liquid the schnitzel. And now, a T-side round early. We could be saying sayonara, Liquid, as they'll be sent to the showdown. Now again, we had that caveat on Nuke. We thought, it's Nuke, you know, it's not Liquid's. They have an empty A site, and Big aren't stopping. Oh, this could be so free. Think about the amount of times that Big left that site open and Liquid never went in. But there was no Crimbo to set the precedent for Liquid in this one. So Big just pounced on an open site. At least for Liquid, it already starts to unravel. Long kill means Keto has to stay tucked. They have to hope that the Heaven and Storage players can keep this one at bay. But we've also got Searson wrapping back around mid. A late flank that's gonna have to be huge. Keto just gets fed to the wolves, and they don't know where Searson's at. He's sliding inwards, fights the player plat, and because the guys in sight die so easily, Searson offers nothing.
Yeah, well, 1v4. His teammates need to put up a better hold. Nitro got the first. Jackknife frag. Being patient on the approach, but making sure win the 5v5. They don't lose that opening duel, because that means everything for the retakes. Liquid really believe in their own retakes. And now at least we'll get to see the CT side that should be scarier. It's a known quantity. We've seen great moves out of them. I think we've seen, in particular, I think we've just seen Yukinder's confidence again towards Connector. All the default timings. Big put up a great display, but it doesn't mean that Liquid can't do the same. I was really disappointed to see Complexity when they played their T side, how kind of little in terms of interesting ideas they had to bring to the table. Really thought they were going to especially bring a lot of executes. Oh no, oh no. Oh, that's such a big frag to find. And they flashed for him to scale even further. He didn't even need that to get in originally.
Oh,
now he's on his favorite spot in the site.
Oh, he's real deep.
Oh, and Keto gets a kill. Oh no.
They're finding the jugular. Elish slides out, but now he's locked into the gunfight, and he's getting tagged up. He stops Tabson in his tracks, falls back into the storage. Searson's gonna pounce in through Connector, not alone. They know that Elish must have fallen back and hid here, but at least they've grabbed that M4, so now we've got a gun for Crimbo. Earned off that first Deeg.
He's the guy to watch. Nothing but numbers from Crimbo.
Grenade comes out from Connector, again, aware that Elish was back on storage and half health. OC's looking for the contact, thinking maybe someone's upper shelf, but it's just the site that's occupied. Elish kills Crimbo, M4 hits the ground. Now Keto comes back at it, and it's a clean retake out of Liquid to just get back what should have never been Biggs.
It's a little scary. For a second there, Crimbo with a great shot. And showing his range, not just playing the site, but attacking it. And early on, punishing them for leaving it open or for playing far back. And actually, we know that Liquid play far back on the site very consistently. That's not going to be a one-time occurrence. It sends a message. We know what you do, and you haven't changed.
No way.
Coming back that direction.
They've got the T-side version too.
Jesus.
Of course they do. I haven't seen anybody throw the T-side version.
It's like, it seems so obvious, right? You're getting naded every single round. Nade the guy who's throwing it. Well,
throw him back.
Why was
dummy.
it a CT side nade? It's the same lineup from the opposite side. Only Big have thought of it, of course.
That's too funny.
Angle didn't do much though. I don't know if it was because of the nature of the height that you're throwing it from the site, but
yeah, I think that if you're in Alicia's case where you've already stepped down forward off the steps, that elevation change maybe just, it's nothing but flash. in the sky, but you've got 2 CTs locked in. You wanted this. You chose violence, and you get a taste of it. OC, 1 kill back, but this B site's so compromised, and there's so many players on long that they just come out with the full exec. They've got smokes down, they've got bomb down, and they've got a double man advantage. Liquid chose that fight.
They did, and they could have caught off of it, right? They flashed to get out, and they could have taken that first swing and then disengaged, got some info, let Big know they can't attack the site that easily right now. Plans are obvious. Instead, they swing out to the point they can't get back in, and there's this massive headshot angle on that platform outside the site. There's the corner of the wall that can be peeked off of, and of course, Big play off it perfectly. They stay composed, make sure to cut off the exit point, and approach from all these headshot positions.
It's going to be hilarious if Big throw those nades through the window every round of T-side.
Yeah, would like to see if, if they're earlier, if they get better play out of them.
Yeah, okay, so he's already forward.
I think they actually have to catch him.
Exact timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you start that nade if you're a liege, exactly where those nades blow up. So, we'll see. We'll see if they can find that timing. We know that they did play around with it. But remember, folks, that after this series, you guys head over to blast.tv, the exclusive place to watch the overtime show with, guess who? Launders.
And?
Nafly.
And?
Mahone.
Let's go.
Crimbo's sizing up long. Molotov with Nitro's name on it. It's going to burn out his util. It also scurries OC into the closer corner. Bad nade. Look at the CTs leaving. Honestly, good timing on the rotate, but we still got a minute, so don't be shocked if things do go back towards A. Searson looking to make sure they keep them honest on the bridge cross. We saw what can happen when CTs push that, a la Tabson, twice.
Liquid have done a great job of pulling grenades. 45-second mark.
Nice.
We're getting the complexion of a B split coming on, but CT's still in comfortable spots.
And they put down that smoke towards long, but the Kinder!
It's a bad smoke.
There's a gap! And Keto clamps down on Alicia's head. Nap's bringing it back from Glizzy. Double kill is his. His support's already gone down. Now he's under pressure. Another player from Dark. Big breakthrough.
Oh, just pressure just keeps mounting. And man, it's that smoke. It's Keto's play. Keto so good off the first half. Here, so inventive. I mean, in this moment, I don't know if that gap was a complete accident. Or, I mean, that gap actually could have been manufactured by the T side, right? The specific bounce they use. I don't know the lineup, but clearly Keto felt good about it.
I thought that Yakinder put out the Molotov that Big had thrown.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Big and Yakinder exchanged mollies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where that is.
That makes more sense. So.
And if that's the case, then it's just good awareness, finding that gap and exploiting it to get a huge round win, because now Liquid busted. Yeah. And they're hoping that, again, there's a stack of players outside long B, but by the time they throw that util, Bigger planting A. 14-6 queued up.
Obviously, the hold looks so different. Like, if Yakinder stays alive, his teammate gets 2 frags in the site. And we talk about how he loves that spot, but right now, that round with a full pistol sitting on 14, potentially here for Big.
He's at least able to move Naf into position so that nobody can climb up through heaven.
The purest of anti-egos.
Bomb has been planted.
But Searson's not hiding, taking a deep angle towards the river. Kinder, good early damage. Could allow for the Rugs player to just drop down on him, but Searson's also not alone. Yeah, they've poked the bee's hive, and all of a sudden, Big comes swarming out of it, taking away any hope that Liquid have in even getting a kill at this point. As expected, 14-6.
We're at the point of the game where they just need a stroke of luck to put this over the line. They even have the potential for a third map to look forward to if things go really wrong. They've got nothing bad to look back on here on T side. Individuals shining through at every moment. Both CT and T side now. Liquid, if they thought, well, first map was the first map, well, now it doesn't feel like our day. Last time out called here at 14-6.
This would be their worst loss on the map as well. Only other loss to FaZe, 16-9 in Abu Dhabi. Think about the wins, Mo. 16-2 on Complexity, 16-7 over OG, 16-8 at Outsiders. I mean, they've kept everybody beyond arm's reach. But Big have come out swinging. Their first show on officials. And what a show it is. Electric.
Yeah, we're still in the rock, paper, scissors phase of who's going to be good on Anubis. Some good. There's going to be probably no one who's completely dominant. Some teams are going to lose to certain teams really badly and beat others that are unlikely. Everyone learns each other. See how the map develops. But it's important to take note of what falls out of meta, what continues to be persistent in the meta, what smokes stick around, who's still throwing the same HEs as time goes on.
Which side of the window they're throwing them through.
Yeah, exactly.
At what specific timing.
Yeah.
Or in Big's case, timings. Keto again going to be looking for that dark entry. Oh, tries to challenge over it. And Elish so blind. Ooh, he sees him. He sees him, and Favin not letting off that pressure. Third CT able to lock that back, but we've got a 3v3, and Nitro's also meant to defend A. Missed op shot out of Searson gives Liquid a little more to work with. Nitro, however, almost cleared out on that close smoke, and Crimbo puts shots over top. Tabson, he's gonna climb right through and give them bomb. Crimbo meant to replace them, last spotted back on plat, but he's so close. And they present themselves. Nap gets away with 57 health. Liquid with a little more life.
If it wasn't Yukinder to swing first, then it would have been known that he's in that spot. So at least he's the one who gets the info, even if he dies. Crimbo looked like it was in a good position to push that, but he also was in a good position to hold. If they fell back, he could get the bomb in that spot. And it would be hard for them to come back into the site in good conscience, knowing that they could potentially throw the round away if Crimbo's in a weird position. So I don't mind how he was a little bit more patient there, but still.
Is he watching for a jump throw? Just posted the op on the window.
Okay. Big just got magic tricks.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's head would pop up that much, but I've seen nobody look for that duel until Searson.
All good oppers are paranoid.
I'm telling you, he's 14 feet tall. Arms as long as a Sam Squanch. Crimbo wants the entry again. It's been a bit of a devilish one inside A site. Offensively and defensively. That's connector smoked. And mollied. But a gap. Oh, Nitro gets the better of him. Keto's gonna try on the other side. And will best Naf. Yukinder stuck along the wall. Nowhere to go. Just fight. And he finishes Keto. But Favin right there. A swoop down. Stops. Bomb. Tabson can't get away. Searson trying to hone in on the close player, but also at a risk at dying to the one in a distance. So you can't really bring this back.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's over. I mean, you've just been smoked out of the play. You can't push through that. There's 2 CTs on the other side. It would be utter desperation. Big, cut their losses. Liquid, grab 8.
Skin of their teeth type situation. Bomb going forward into mid. At least there was double pressure. One flank, one dropping off the bridge. Insurance policy. Even if they lose one there, Bomb's in a really good spot. As long as that T continues to fight in that direction. Crazy part is, like, if he just turned around and tried to run from it, they actually have a chance of getting that back into the site. The site is smoked, so they could potentially plant a bomb. Keto's confidence on approaching here inside of Con has been wonderful to watch as well. really wonder which teams are going to show up. CT side would then fall, or players, excuse me, will fall off on T side. And he has shown that he's been pretty comfortable both. Close rounds continue to be expensive, but Liquid get everything they need.
Still alive and kicking, no doubt.
We are in a, one round is worth two situation. Liquid aren't careful.
Flash, blind Searson. Riflers still creep up. Oh, he's got CTs on Pillar! They pop around the corner. OC saves the day. Oh, does he ever? Nap and Yakinder both not ready. Crimbo comes through. Double, triple! Again, it is Crimbo in the kill feed, shredding Team Liquid.
I can't even believe the tempo on that. The way they attack through B, man, who even does that in that fashion? Constantly had Liquid thinking about where the split was coming from the entire time. Big said, we don't even need that part of the map. After OC gets these 2 kills, they think they can chill for a second, and instead Crimbo puts together this sequence. Oh. Getting 3 there is so unreasonable. All 3 positions on the site.
We've had an individual turnaround from multiple players on Big.
This is a full force here. And they have 1 rifle.
Leash. Oh, blind.
Oh, their flashes into mid have been amazing.
I mean,
and even when they fought there and then tried to cross through the door, they had a second scaling flash that went off perfectly. They trusted it. 100%.
M4 dead. Nothing. Turns out Big are ready for officials on Anubis. Not just ready, but seemingly world class. And we had individuals from the Big Clan that had to improve. This was a slow week for Searson, for Tabson, for Fovin, and all of them, plus Crimbo, plus Keto on Nuke, have shown up for this series. They take down the world's 4th ranked team, sending them to the showdown. And obviously, NA want Liquid in Washington, but now they have to run it back through the daunting challenge that is the showdown.
Yeah, that's a very impressive victory. 2 maps that were difficult to prepare for, and it's crazy that Big pull off these upset, and it's by such a big margin that you don't even celebrate that much. They're happy they won, but they were in full control that entire time.
6 rounds from Liquid across 2 maps. That's it. That's all they brought to this series tonight. Meanwhile, Big show us innovation on Anubis. They're watching for jump spots. And that means that a game versus Heroic is what they've earned. It's what they've queued up. And it's what we'll get their thoughts on here and now.
Tabson, this was one hell of a series. This was the Big we were looking to see. You guys were fired up, you were loud, you were dominating, and you were innovating on Anubis. This must feel pretty good, mate, because it was not looking good up until this point.
I feel it's amazing, to be honest. Like, it was a relief that we just won a game. We dominated on Nuke, and it feels good to win a game again.
Did it feel like you were in their heads coming into Anubis?
To be honest, no. Like, I expected that we win Nuke. Obviously, I think they underestimated our Nuke. They didn't play Nuke for 2 years, I believe. They just played it against OG, which also don't really play Nuke. Yeah. And to be fair, yeah, I expect to win Nuke, but Anubis was an open game. We didn't play Anubis a single time in an official game. We don't know how it works, but it seems like it works kind of good.
Wait a sec, we always say that Big are innovating, strategizing, thinking about things. We thought you guys would have a good thought-out plan when it comes to Anubis, and you're saying you're not sure how it would work. Come on, give me the truth.
Nah, actually it's the truth, but we played in practice pretty well. We feel confident on the map, and we will see how it works on official in further games if people analyze us and stuff like that.
Now, I will say, I do love seeing you guys get loud, and Gob, in between the maps, he said a 7-map pool to them and then question it. They don't really seem to have one, do they? But they're trying.
Yeah, they tried. I think they wanted to fool us in the veto. Like, we prepared Vertigo, actually. We knew that Vertigo can be a map, so they made a nice ban with that, and we were not so prepared on Nuke, but I believed in our Nuke, even though we're not playing it for a long time, but yeah, the experience makes it easier for sure.
And how do we get this big more often? The start of the season wasn't pretty, mate. For all of you guys, we're not individually there, but this was a fired up, this was a communicating big from what we could see on the cameras, what you're watching, and now you got Heroic, which is obviously an even tougher test. So how do we get this again?
It's Good question, but I believe we just need to keep going. We will keep on working, keep on doing the flow which we did right now. It was an amazing day for us. Like me personally felt really good. Like we expected the maps, and we will just try to continue it. And what is really important is what's individual performance. Like right now, we were hitting more shots than them. We were on point as well. Our clutches felt really, really good. I think it felt really dirty to them. We were sneaking up a little bit. They didn't really know where we were, and this advantage.
Now I've got one more question to ask you before I let you go, and it's from our Blast TV viewers. And they said, when you're dead, which teammate do you like to spectate the most? Which one are you watching?
Oh, good question.
Who you check it on?
Yeah, everyone, but the most I watch Crimbo because he plays really kind of like me, really smart, like in Grandpa. Like he's not making flashy moves and stuff. He's just trying to play kind of smart and try to calculate the scenarios, and yeah, I like it the most.
I don't know what to take from this. You play like a grandpa, or the young boy plays like a grandpa?
He plays like a grandpa.
Tabson, congratulations on the win, man. Thank you very much.
I mean, if you were watching Crimbo in that last map, man, you were onto a winner anyway, because what a performance from him and the rest of the Big squads coming into things. Let me remind you, that was the first time we saw Big playing on the grounds of Anubis up against one of the teams that looked so hot coming onto that new ground. What an absolute spanking Big delivered in that.
I'm so impressed. I have no words.
Yeah.
The level that Big just showed today defied all of the odds and all of the stories that we came with. Look at the stats right here. They paint a very clear picture. From top to bottom, great performance from Big. You could argue maybe Surson was a little bit quiet, but Tabson is right on the money. The individuals today from Big showed up. The individuals made the difference. All the clutches we've seen, all the multi-kills we've seen, rounds being turned around by crazy plays. This is the kind of substance that I was talking about that Big lacked, and today they had it.
There's no doubt when you have a game that is as one-sided as we just experienced right here, there's something to be said about Liquid not showing up, but I feel like it was Big forcing Liquid to play back Counter-Strike. It was Big initiating Liquid not feeling comfortable on the server. We saw that time and time again on Nuke, and we saw it time and time again here on Anubis as well. Add to that all the clutches, add to that all the individual brilliance that came in from the Big players, and you had the recipe of a very, very one-sided game. It wasn't close, there was no tension, it wasn't even a good game of Counter-Strike per se for a view out there. It was just Big absolutely schooling Team Liquid out of the server.
I mean, it was hella good if you were a Big fan in that one. I know Mary Snake's heart was definitely torn in two places, but you talk about the clutches, there were so many to go down just on that map alone. So let's dive into some.
Yeah, there's 2 rounds we need to rewatch. There's 2 rounds we have to have a look at, right? Because Liquid have plenty of opportunities of actually finding their way back into this game. Get a double entry here in middle, a 5v3 scenario. You're supposed to win this one if you're Team Liquid. You then enter in towards the B bomb side right here. Again, you trade your ways out of the problems. It's never a round you're supposed to lose. You have a 4v3, you have Nafly coming in the middle, you have Crimbo right here with an AWP getting a little bit lucky, but again, getting traded instantly, and then Keto out of nowhere winning a 1v3. We talked about the individual brilliance. Well done by Keto, horrible by Liquid not to pick them together. Moving into round number 13, again, Liquid, you're supposed to win this round. You have a 4v3, you have control over the bomb side, and again, small, minor mistakes, a 4v2 at this point. They keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting and give away easy kills for OC. No need to take that duel, and at this point we see it one more time happening. Maniac, even this flank coming in, you see it on the other side of the map. Keto is aware that that's a possibility, and they end up losing this round as well. Liquid could have won.
Absolutely nothing is working for Liquid in these 2 clutches. I think the first round out of the 2 is even more incriminating. But what we can also highlight is that in this round, Big, they put their chances together. They have 3 players alive, all 3 on the A side. They're accepting, they're understanding, listen, we're not going to win all of the scenarios, but if you come A, you better come prepared, because we're all going to be ready and we're going to surprise you. And I think that's what happened to Liquid. They get the first trade, they're a little bit ahead of themselves, and then they allow that multi-kill to come in. Suddenly the clutch is in, and also the scoreline. It's 6-1 on that moment. You're not playing your best Counter-Strike.
An absolutely incredible performance pulled off from Big, but unfortunately for Liquid, the showdown does beckon. So let's get a few words courtesy of Nitro.
Nitro, this obviously is not how you guys wanted to start off the year, but you were going into a lot of experimenting. We see the nuke come in as well. I'm going to just touch on the fact that it went so badly at the beginning for nuke for you guys. Did it feel like something you just couldn't get yourself out of? Because obviously, when you go to start on the CT side, you're expecting to do better, but their T side was so strong.
Yeah, I mean, they were honestly having a lot of good calls. I think they were outplaying us in the terms of like macro and stuff. Like the calls that they were making were like appropriate for the timing of the game, you know. And honestly, it was a bit unlucky. Like Ukinder got spammed like 2 or 3 rounds in a row through like the door smokes. It's 45 on nuke. It's pretty hard to recover from that sometimes. And I don't know. I just think overall they played really well. on Nuke.
And did you feel like, especially on Nuke, that it was actually a lot closer? Because there were so many moments where, like, you could have gone for the clutches, you kind of had to save. You were not really able to enter the duels because you were losing sight so early on. Do you feel like it would have been a closer game had some of them just gone your way?
Yeah, I mean, it was like 11 to like whatever, like 1 or 2, and I hit tab and I see like the last like 6 or 7 rounds, there's 1 or 2 alive, and every single round we spawn with 3,400. I'm like, we have to buy here, we have to buy here, like we have to buy here, because we actually saved one time, did some damage, economy damage, and then I was like, we gotta buy, we gotta buy. It's just like Nuke's like pretty CT sided, so whenever you're in a deficit like that and you don't have enough rounds on your CT side, you gotta try to get something together, and they were winning like all the clutches in that map, and it was pretty difficult, and it was hard to recover, but yeah.
And then, obviously, Gobby gave you a bit of a banter, I would say, when saying, like, 7 map pool, they were expecting that Vertigo would be the one that they'd be able to pick. You would have banned out Nuke. Then we come to Anubis, and everyone just, at the moment, because of how well you've been playing, expect you guys to be the most dominant on it. But it seemed like you guys just weren't on there individually. You were quieter as well when we look at the cameras, when we see your faces. What were you looking at and seeing was wrong?
Anubis was, I don't know, I just felt like we weren't playing well at all, like cohesively, and especially when it was like 3v3s or whatever, we were kind of like over peaking a little bit, making a lot of micro mistakes. And obviously it's a game to review and figure out, but going into it, we didn't have any information on their Anubis because they haven't played it, and we understand that, and we were just confident in our Anubis. And I feel like whenever there's a new map, it's like the best experience you can get is playing a match, and we played like 3 or 4 matches already on Anubis since Abu Dhabi and the last finals of December. So we figured like, we have a really strong game, we have good structure, and it should be a pretty good map for us to pick. So that was ultimately our decision. But obviously it's a little bit harder when you don't know what they can do and how they like to play and stuff. But yeah, I mean, overall just came down to us having confidence.
And lastly, you're sadly going to go down to the showdown. It's incredibly tough from there. The best of 3s, it's single eliminations. Is this a worry for you guys, or happier because it's the Americans, some more officials, a bit easier?
I think it's online in NA, so I mean, I don't really know. It sucks to be in the showdown. Obviously, it would have been really nice to get out of this and just not have to compete in another tournament, because the schedule is pretty hectic. But yeah, I mean, you just move on, and then we got to watch the games back, recover, and just keep on going forward.
That's what it's all about, Nitro. See you soon, mate. Thank you very much.
As Alish said, coming into this tournament, their only goal was to not make it to the showdown. Unfortunately, frankly, this is just a bitter end for Liquid to start off the season.
Yeah, somber tones to that interview, but I think it's rightful, right? I think most people will reconsider where they see Liquid currently after these few days. We've seen them now dropping 2 series to OG, being absolutely smacked around by Big. IM Katowice is rolling around the corner. We had their names in the hat of potential candidates to lift a trophy. Was that a case of overconfidence? I don't think we've seen a Liquid that were very hungry here. I think they were maybe too calm, too accepting, too passive in their situation. I'd like to see more rage, more fire. Maybe they keep that in for the next tournament. That is a possibility, but still, I think it does a lot of damage to their position and to how people will or not fear them, because this Liquid here, it's not a Liquid to be afraid of.
I think they said it coming into the tournament. Only a couple of days of practice leading into this. They wanted to experiment with it, and they had one goal, which was to qualify. They didn't care how. This time around, it didn't went that way, and I agree with you. The main problem for me is Katowice, because they exposed the 7-map pool right here. They exposed they have a couple of weaknesses. Do you think anyone out there is afraid of playing Nuke against Team Liquid right now? Probably not. Do you think anyone's afraid of playing Anubis against Team Liquid right now?
Yeah,
probably not. So
you
have exposed yourself just a little bit coming into Katowice, and that's going to be the main issue for them. Luckily, they have a couple of days to practice before Katowice, but that's about it.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Gauntlet going forward. As for Big, that does prove a final lifeline coming into their game, but this is going to be an even tougher one going down this weekend, because they've got to take on the Danes of Heroic.
Yeah, but I think they've done enough for us to be excited about this matchup.
Yeah,
Honestly,
excited.
Prior to that moment,
but
I mean, you're not believing? Auf geht's, gemeinsam, Big? No?
I'm not sure. I mean, this is the best Big that we've seen. Obviously, it was great to get to see them on Anubis for the first time, but yeah, I don't know, Jacob.
Look, let me frame it like this. Whoever was going to go up against Heroic had to make a case and have a convincing best of 3 with the fashion, with certainty, for us to entertain the idea of something happening. Had it been just a messy little 3-mapper, 16-14, I wouldn't know. But this Big right here, fired up the way they are, Heroic, definitely not at the top. I don't know. I can imagine.
They're a team to be
I could see something happen.
I think what's because Freya is trying to say that it is entirely up to Heroic whether or not that game is going to be a good one. I respect Big for what they did here today against Team Liquid, and they will have to play even better, I argue, against Heroic to make it competitive. But Heroic is supposed to be one of the best, if not the best team in the world. So I think what you're trying to say, Freya, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if Heroic is playing what they normally play, then it's going to be a tough one for Big, regardless of how well they play.
You stole the words right out of my mouth, Jacob. So I'm going to challenge you to give me some more in our CS Money Play of the Days. As always, you guys can head over to the Blast Premier Instagram to get your votes in. We'll be crowning our champion play of the day tomorrow. So Jacob, take it away. What have we got coming up?
We got some American spice. We got Grim, who's on a tear at this tournament, having a really good showing on Anubis with the AK-47. Nice spray control, getting a double kill. He's going to add to that tally by getting another one in the middle right here. All the credit to Grim right now for playing some of the best Counter-Strike he's ever played.
One of the many heroes of this evening, we have Keto as a secondary solution here, or possibilities in our CS Money Play of the Day, and that's this pistol round on Nuke with the Glock. Always a la Keto, very aggressive, picking up the US speed and then dancing behind the silo, just very cleverly. A little bit of Nico vibe to it, the way we saw it yesterday, right? But here is Nico and it's on Nuke.
And last but not least, we got Mr. Surson, who again today showed up on lane, played a good game of Counter-Strike with the AWP. He did the dirty stuff to Team Liquid, getting a nice couple of kills right here, even catching Elise in the jump. And he's just so calm, collective, hitting his shots. It's great to see Surson play.
Can we get that one more time, Matthew?
No, it's a one-time.
And ship it, just a one-time thing.
Surson.
Well, whilst we mull over that, James, what's going on with our potential Maersk MVP candidates?
Well, for our Maersk MVP, things have stayed pretty much the same. So I'm flipping the switch a little bit. I'll give you our top 5 of where we're sat right now. Nico, Zyru, Brokey, Spinks, and Twists are all there. But tomorrow, we have an interesting matchup because Grim right now is sat in 7th place. Simple is only just about ahead of him. Grim obviously had a fantastic game today, and they will be matching up against Na'Vi tomorrow. Now, I can paint you a story and paint you a pretty picture that if Complexity could underperform, or overperform, I guess, but overperform against the Na'Vi and stop underperforming, then maybe they might have a chance of getting the win, because Na'Vi have not been looking too hot, and Grim has been the man leading the charge for this one. If him and his teammates can get the win, that might see him jump up and push himself with a nice amount of stats and find some further success. Grim has been the highlight. Grim is probably in one of the best forms of his life. Let's see if he can see and keep it going.
Yeah, I think undoubtedly one of the shining lights to come out of that Complexity squad has to be Grim. Very much looking forward to seeing him taking on Na'Vi as well. But we've got to take a look at what else is on the cards coming into the games tomorrow, as more elimination and qualification games going down in that one indeed. Astralis versus an NIP, and then that match we were just talking about, Complexity taking on Na'Vi.
I am excited for the first one. I'm excited for many reasons, but of course, Astralis taking NIP in an elimination game should be fun. Device taking on NIP, there's a bit of a history in regards to that one as well, should be fun. And then of course, Complexity. The way they played today, I don't leave many hopes.
So now you have to make a choice. You've told us Na'Vi's going to lose. You've told us EG or Complexity would win. Now you have to make a choice. What is it going to be?
I've never said so. All I said was that Na'Vi is so goddamn bad right now that there was a chance that they could make the game competitive, but I would argue Complexity as well were equally bad today. So I don't know what to expect.
As soon as we got rid of the prediction game, Pimp just doesn't give a damn, does he? He feels free, yeah, literally to say whatever he wants. You know what? We're going to put a mute button on you, but we're going to press play over on Blast.tv. In the overtime show, of course, Launders and Danny will be down there with very special guest Naf. So you want to make sure you're tuning in for that one. If you're not already watching on the Blast.tv platform, make sure you switch on over to that, and we'll see you over there.
And I would easily.